Hello and welcome to my channel. For those who know me well and know dedication fans remember the Bay City Rollers and have heard some of the spots I've done on that. Um, this may be old news, but the fact is, on YouTube, on my own channels, in my own presentations, I have not tackled this particular subject. You know, I've done many videos about Eric Faulkner's music, but not in this specific way. And yeah, so this is part one of the genius of Eric Faulkner, Britpop. And I certainly hope it's not insulting to him that I refer to his music as Britpop, but I do think it fits into that long line of British music, British popular music, that later, formed into the official Britpop, which was, Pulp and Blur and stuff like that. But I would include, The Cure in that sort of stuff, right? And even some of the punk stuff would fit into that, and the Bay City Rollers stuff. Some of that stuff fits into that. Now, as far as the Bay City Rollers go, I'm talking about songs like Wouldn't You Like It and Money Honey, stuff generally off of the Wouldn't You Like It album, a little bit off of Dedication. And then things changed dramatically for the band and they became more American sounding. But I do have this song that I'm going to be starting off with by the Rollers off of the Vox album. And this is written by Eric. And it is absolutely a Britpop, masterful Britpop song. There's lots of great influences in it, but there's also a lot of originality. I think it's one of the, if not the best song that he wrote for the band. And also people who know me will laugh because they'll know I was originally slightly dismissive of the Vox album. But here we have this track, and there's some excellent tracks by Duncan, written by Duncan on here as well. So it's actually a tremendous album. And with regards to Duncan, I have more content coming up in the future. He's just released a new CD with Craig Ells, which is fantastic, called Nexus 2. And we will get into that at some point in time. But yeah, so Vox was the last album where the Rollers were dealing with Arista. Their next and really final, I would say, Bay City Rollers album, Ricochet, would be with Epic or CBS or whatever, whoever owned Epic back then, I don't know. But I want you to hear this song, and then I'm going to be playing some of Eric's solo work and some of the stuff that he wrote when there was a chance that the Rollers were going to get together again, and they never fully did. There was a little thing, Breakout, but I'm talking about way later on. There was a chance they could get back together, and they never did, and we'll get on to that. But first, let's listen to this great song, The Hero by the Rollers, written by Eric Faulkner.
Fly like an eagle, there you go. Sing on, you restless gigolo. Don't bring your troubles back to me, 'cause I'm on the line, and I don't wanna see you around. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I say don't mess me around?
Okay, next we're getting into some of Eric's solo work, as it would be called. And also, I want to explain why I'm doing this video now. So, I was at a friend's house, and we were sitting in the backyard and listening to music as it's summertime here. This is a few weeks ago. And I had been over there before, and I had played some of Duncan's music, like Duncan's solo music for him, and he had really enjoyed it. And this time, Eric had just done a kind of pre-release of some stuff that's going to be on his next album on Bandcamp, and I had that, and so I was playing that for him, and he likes it. And I was playing it for him because he and Eric are very similar in the way that they tune their guitar for some of the folk music, I guess you would say, right? That Eric has done, and some of the stuff he was showing me actually. I was when I was talking to my friend afterwards, I was like, Eric does the same tuning as you, and he plays like the same sort of thing, and so we were listening to that, and then I said, there's this stuff of Eric Faulkner's you haven't heard before, and I put that on. I was like, I don't know when exactly it was released, and I played it, and within the first few chords, you could see on my friend's face the shock. And then as it got on and the song developed, he was saying things like, Britpop bands wish they could write like this guy, and I agree. And I like a lot of the Britpop stuff. Like Pulp, I really enjoy Pulp. I think there's there's a handful of songs of theirs that I really like. And that's a lot for a band. That doesn't sound like much. If you have 10 great songs, that's fantastic in my mind, right? Not very many bands get to the point where they have 30, 40, and 50 great songs, We like that stuff. But listening to this very special era where Eric was writing the stuff, he was really in the zone and wrote some incredible stuff that towers over a lot of the stuff that we would compare it to. And why wouldn't it? The man had been around since the early 70s working in recording studios and started writing songs back around, he was writing songs before he was even in the Bay City Rollers. He was writing songs, right? So here's one that I always like to see other people's responses, but this is one that really had an impact on my friend. And it is called In Your Majesty.
On your crown, there you go.
thing I think I should say, I was talking about pulp. If I were to say, like, I don't have a lot of that. Would it be '90s? I guess it was Britpop stuff. Um, but one album that stood out, one album I did like a lot was Pulp, not Pulp, Blur's "Modern Life Is Rubbish." And I have that on vinyl. I had it on CD for the longest time. It was great, but I got it on vinyl. Wow, was that remastered so well for vinyl? That's a great one. That's one of those late night. I've had too many beers, but I'm gonna have two more and listen to this great album type of thing. So just to give some insight into like what type of stuff that I liked from that era, right? The next song I'm going to play. This is all fantastic stuff. I'm enjoying this. This is not even like work for me, but this is from Eric's solo catalog once again, and it's called "Don't You Know You're Beautiful."
Another day in paradise. Romeo with air guitar. Kick on Venus, trip on Mars. Watching from the gods to me, you're simply all divine. Heavenly blue. Romeo, heavenly blue. All you wanna do is have fun. All you wanna be is someone. All you wanna do is play your body.
Okay, I don't want to speak too much more in between the rest of these great songs, and I hope that anyone that is new to this music is just finding that it's one great song after another. It really blows my mind, you know. I only came across a lot of these songs like in the last year or two, I guess, right? And what a treasure trove. Okay, but I've got to stop talking so much. This one is called My Love's Requiem, and it's a personal favorite of mine.
Telling them that I'm still here, shooting at the breeze. Telling them that
I'm just trying to think. I'm going through it in my mind. How many people have written as many songs that I enjoy as Eric Faulkner? Everyone has their own personal preferences. I'm not saying that Eric is better than anyone else in songwriting, but everyone has like preferences. There are so many, through all the stuff that he wrote for the Rollers, and then all of this stuff, and of course there is so much after this that we will get into in part 2. But the only things that come to mind is like the Beatles, the Damned, the Clash, maybe the Beach Boys. But even for me, a lot like it's a handful of stuff that is the very, very best. Don't get me wrong, by the Beach Boys, but it's a handful. It's so hard to continue writing such great music for such a period of time. It's really incredible to me. Moving on to the next song, though. This is Belladrome. This is kind of like a doo-wop kind of song, modernized. Fantastic. Enjoy it.
Vacantly anodyne, another toke to pass the time. Crashed out on your stairs, vaguely unaware
I have one more from Eric's solo catalog, and I'm actually going to play one Bay City Rollers recording because I've been thinking it, and I want to talk about them, and I'll put that on the end. And I'll talk about the Bay City Rollers. So not to get in the way of this last one. Let me say though, there are so many tracks that I could add to this. There's probably like at least like just going through things, and I'm going to put links to where you can get this music. Right? There's five more I could easily put on from Eric's website. I also want to mention, he has an album that he released called Faulkner, and it's on Bandcamp. Okay. And the reason I'm not really choosing much or anything from that is that I've recently played stuff from that because I did a quick review. I don't think I did a very good review because I was ill for so long. He does have a new album coming out. I'm expecting it in months, but who knows how long it'll take. It's a lot of work to make a record, Well, it's not a record. It'll be on Bandcamp. At best, it'll be a CD, But there's so much more out there. This is just, the tip of the iceberg is a very good expression. One more from his solo, and then stick around for some very interesting Bay City Roller stuff. But this is Crazy for You. Okay, so why not talk about the Bay City Rollers? And you may notice I didn't mention Oasis in this at all when I was talking about Britpop, because to hell with them. I actually do not mind their second album, and their first album is okay, and there's some stuff in there, and is it reminiscent of the Beatles? Oh, hell yeah, they literally just stole some stuff from the Beatles, right? Let's be honest. But the reason I don't mention them, but I'm mentioning them now, is that one of them, I don't know which one was going on about how horrible the Bay City Rollers were. and it's for grannies or something like that. Listen, Oasis, you don't even come close. You don't even come close to the compositional prowess that developed through and after the Bay City Rollers. It's absolutely a joke. And I know a lot of people through the 70s always made fun of the Bay City Rollers because they were not, I don't know, Aerosmith or Boston. And I like Boston. But there was this big hatred. And people didn't understand Britpop at the time. There was no thing called Britpop, but here we had in the early days of the Bay City Rollers, I'd say from Once Upon a Star right through Dedication, this Britpop band. But no one got it. No one understood it because they were ahead of Britpop. But they followed after the Beatles, you know, and there was so much stuff. And I would even consider, I think I've said this before, the Raspberries were kind of a Britpop band. You don't have to be from, you know, the UK or Britain to be a Britpop band, right? But anyway, I want to play something. And I can say, I talked to Eric about this. There's no fudging on this recording, this live recording at all. Aside from, obviously, you have to produce it. But note for note, this is what was performed live. It is a band that is well seasoned, that they're so professional, you know. It's a song that was written, I think, mostly by Eric. It's a tremendous song. It's a great performance, you know. Les is an absolute showman. You know, Woody's bass is tight and on point throughout, right? And then, you know, and Derek is steady, like throughout this entire live album, Derek is absolutely steady. And Eric, and this is the thing I want to talk about. Actually, I want to mention this book. I've mentioned it before, Playing Tribute, No Harm Done, Graham Forbes. He talks about working with Eric in later years and what an absolute rock star Eric is. And he is. He towers over so many artists, you know? And it's no laughing matter to me, because I saw these guys live the same year that they did this. It was chaos. Everyone wanted to be in a band as big as this, but also they wanted to be a good band. And that's where Eric's role kind of comes in the band, is that we're going to be a good band and we're going to write good songs. And they did it, and they performed live. This is them live with no, you know, no screwing around. This is them live. And listen to the audience and how they react to Eric's melodic melody lines on his guitar. It's incredible. Thanks for watching. Enjoy this live recording.
Face again. It's been some time, and I missed you so. Those lonely years gone by, and look how much you've changed. What's happened to the girl that I once knew? Hey, you're you say you don't need me. You ain't no little girl anymore. Oh, you're a woman. Oh, I can see it in your eyes. So I'll turn and walk out through the door. Can't stand to hear your woman lies no more. Never know how many tears I cried. Those lonely and think of you. Well, I know that I was wrong, but look how much I've changed. What's happened to the girl that I once knew? Hey, you're a woman, and you know what love is for. You say you don't need me. You ain't a little girl anymore. Oh, you're a woman. Oh, I can see it in your eyes. So while I'm turning to walk out through the door, stands it here, your woman lies. Oh, you're a woman, and you know what love is for. You say you don't need me. You ain't a little girl anymore. Oh, you're a woman. Oh, I can see it in your eyes. So I'll turn and walk out through the door. Just can't stand to hear